Hello and welcome, my fellow fatbackians. Glad to have you. Meet, 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 meet. So as you can see before you, I have this yellow hexagon. It was actually a part of the wall facade of Fatback that I tore down. I decided to go with this one instead of the other one I showed in my first video when I tore down Fatback. I'm going to be keeping it yellow because I'm just a yellow junkie. But we're going to reuse pieces that I already had painted on Fatback. I might change a couple things here and there, but that's why you can see everything has been ripped out of here. But the pieces I'm going to be using are from Empire Toy Works and Diorama Accessories. We're going to be using this door. This is from Empire Toy Works. Be sure to check him out. And all these other pieces are from Diorama Accessories. Also, be sure to check him out, man. A lot of great stuff, too. Both these guys are very talented artistos, and I highly recommend getting some stuff from them if you can. I might change the sticker on this piece, but like I said, everything was already previously used pieces. I might, do some detailing and some highlights here and there and stuff like that, but overall, it's pretty much just going to be me re-gluing pieces, sticking it in here, and then attaching it to the main landing platform that we were working on in the last video. So that's what we're going to start on, and I'll see you here shortly. Okay, so first, I've decided that we're going to start by adding the door. Okay, and then this computer panel, I'm going to attach it above it. Okay, so we're going to work on that first. I'm going to do just a little bit of detailing and stuff on this door. Now, so far, because I didn't film that, this was just primed with gray spray paint, and then either I used nutmeg or chestnut and applied a wash, okay? But we're going to start here first and do a little bit of details and some highlights. Okay, so we're going to start dry brushing this door, and we're going to use this apple barrel country gray. The door was just too dark and I'm wanting to lighten it up. Usually I would just hit the edges, but we are going to hit a little bit of the inside just so it's not so dark. I'm using a flat, wide brush, and I'm just simply putting a little bit of paint on a paper towel and brushing the excess off. Now we're going to be doing down strokes when we're dry brushing. Okay, so all just down strokes. Mainly just hitting the edges. But like I said, it was a little too dark, so I am going to lighten it up a little bit here and there. Okay. Then next, I'm going to do the side same way, down strokes on both sides of the door. As you can see. Okay. Then we're going to do the inner part, but only the outer detail. We're not going to touch any of the inside detail, so we can give this piece some depth. Okay, so now I'm just going to lightly dry brush all those outer detail pieces. Little panels and the cross stitching in the door. Next, I'm thinking we'll go on and prime some of the buttons on the computer panel, maybe a few other pieces white or silver, and then we'll start painting them different colors. Okay, I went ahead and took the rest of that country gray, and off camera I dry brushed this panel, gave it some highlights, and I also dry brushed those monitors. And I used the same technique that I just showed you guys doing the door. Next, I'm going to take some of this Tamiya flat aluminum, and we're going to paint some details. Alright, now we're going to take a small brush, and we're going to take that silver, and we're going to paint some of these outer details. I'm going to go ahead and do this vent on the bottom. And then I'm thinking we'll do these top pieces above the cross stitch on the inside of the door. So I'm gonna do those next. It's a little square and a little rectangle. Before the paint dries, just to show you guys a cool little technique you can do, I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna lightly stifle it. Okay. And this gives it a rust pattern. So just go over it lightly like you just saw, and you'll get that effect. Okay, now we're going to take some of this Apple Barrel Harvest Orange and we're going to paint some more of the outside details. And then we're going to take some of this Tamiya Clear Orange and go over that. Now we're going to go ahead and take that Harvest Orange and go ahead and start painting some of the outside details. I decided as I was painting the cross stitching that I wanted the whole inside door to be orange. I thought that would look cool. Okay, so we got the orange done. Next we're going to go over it with that clear orange and then do some other details. Okay, so off camera, I went ahead and painted these silver instead of the orange because I didn't like the orange. And I took a little bit of gray to clean it up around on the outside, but I just wanted to show you guys a little trick. Let's get you a little bit of paint on your brush. And here, I'll do it here. And just kind of rub it like that. And then rub it. Okay, next we're going to take some of that clear orange that I was showing you guys from Tamiya. And we're going to apply that over the orange on the door. I think this gives it a really cool look. Just take your little brush. And as you can see, I'm stifling this more than I am brushing it. And that's just so I don't leave a brush pattern. And also it builds up a neat texture to give it like a wet metallic look. I've just discovered this like a few months ago. I met this cool guy in a local model shop and he turned me on to it. Check this out. Okay, next we're going to take this Tamiya white and we're going to paint the buttons on the door panel. Now I'm mainly just dry brushing them and putting a light coat, so I'm not doing a heavy application. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to prime that computer panel screen with that aluminum. Next, we're going to take this clear Tamiya green and paint the computer screen. Okay, now I'm thinking next we're going to take this panel piece here. It'd be like a generator or any type of texture you'd like. And we're going to prime it in this color shot Scuba. Okay, I just finished spraying that piece with that color shot Scuba. And next, we're going to dry brush some of this steel gray from Game Color, just to give it some value. Alright, now while this dries, we're just going to go ahead and work on another piece. Okay, now we're going to take some more of that aluminum from Testors, and we're going to prime some of these buttons and paint some more of these little detail pieces. Now I'm using the exact same method that I showed you on the door. I'm just lightly painting them. Okay, so just take your time. You shouldn't have any problems. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and just keep painting more of the buttons and the detail pieces. Now we'll do a few more up there on the top and the left corner and on that little panel. Okay, now I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and paint the handles on the door cabinets. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and paint those buttons. We're gonna use Tamiya Clear Red, and we're also going to use Tamiya Clear Blue. Next, we're going to add some rust, and we're using burnt umber from Americana. Okay, so what I did is I just took a little piece of a grout sponge and just tore little pieces off of it so it wasn't even. And then I just simply fold it, and I take some tweezers to hold on to it so I don't have such a heavy hand when I'm applying this. Okay. Now make sure to take your time while doing this. It isn't really hard, but if you're not careful, you can get too much on there. Now it's okay because no one can really say you're wrong, because I've seen things heavily rusted and I've seen things that were brand new and just had one little rusted spot on it. Okay, but just make sure you take your time, you should be fine. Okay, now we're going to add some to the door too, and just make sure that you rotate the sponge and or the piece while you're doing this so you don't get a pattern. And just for someone else to watch that I get a lot of inspiration from is Jason Jensen Trains. So be sure to check him out too. Does great rusting effects. So off camera, I went ahead and took some more of that burnt umber and I added some rust to this computer monitor. And then I forgot to put some on the inside of that door, so I went back and I added some to the door and also the silver plating. And also here's a better look at the other cabinet panel. And then I took all the remaining burnt umber and I painted the center of this console piece. Alright, so off camera, I went ahead and finished painting this panel piece. And what I did is I took some Gundam markers. I actually got a while back. And that's how I painted these two hoses up here on the top. Let me show you them here really quick. So I used a red and a yellow kind of markers for those hoses. And then afterwards I took that steel gray and that burnt umber and just went back in and touched up around it and blended it back in. And then I took some of this apple barrel dark gray and I stippled that all over the burnt umber here to get this worn weathered effect you see. And then I took a black wash and I just lightly went around all the edges, all the panels and everything, as you can see, and outlined it. And then I took that steel gray again and used a sponge and I went back all over the blue, and then I took the burnt umber and did that all over that as well. Okay, so now we're going to do some more work to the main landing platform that we started on in the last video, and I'm going to be taking some of that hot orange like I showed you guys, And I'm going to be using a sponge. This is just a grout sponge. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. I actually ordered these off Amazon and just cut it down. And I like to work from the outside in, but mainly when I do this, I'm just all over the place with it. I'm just, so I apply it sporadically. Until I get the coverage I want. I try to keep the edge warm, and then the cooler colors, the cooler tone shades inside. Do that and let this dry. Okay, next I'm going to do the same technique I just showed you like I did with the orange, but I'm going to do it on the blue around the edge of the table, and I'm using that 2 blue I showed you. Now, if you get a pattern, all you got to do is just take your sponge and go back over it. Just simply pinch it, and you'll get a contoured shape like you see. And just go back over that, and that'll blend everything back in so it doesn't look like, it's a pattern on there, okay? Okay, so I just finished painting the table with the orange and the blue using the grout sponge like I showed you guys. I just wanted to bring it outside so you could see it in the natural light. I think this is a really cool technique to use. It adds more depth. It's not just, a plain ordinary solid color. Alright guys, we're back on the layout. And I just wanted to show you all really quick. I went ahead and decided to go with that reflective tape to outline the inside of that hexagon. Very pleased with that. I'm still going to do something in the middle. I just don't know if it's going to be a FatBack logo or some Arabish, or like I was saying before in the last video, something stands for landing platform or something like that, okay? But we will get to that in a future video. I just wanted to show you this really quick, and also I wanted you to check out the effect you can get. Let me take my time here. But I am really happy with that. I think that is so cool, man. So definitely recommend you guys going out and getting you some of this reflective tape. Like I said, you can get it from Home Depot or Lowe's, or you can order it off Amazon, I'm sure. I just wanted to show you that real quick. So I got the hexagon glued up on the main landing platform and the gribbles that we worked on in this video. So this is what we got so far. Now there's still a whole bunch of painting I have to do, touch-ups, there's more gribbles I'm going to be adding, hoses, etc. This is just still a basic start. But so far I am really thrilled with this. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I also took some of the former pieces from the facade on the wall of FatBack that I tore down, and I added them to the sides. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep all the pieces that's inside of them or not yet, and of course they have to be painted still too and weathered. But just wanted to show you guys that. And then here on the bottom of the station I added this board, and I also added this little box shelf and half of this clock face for a platform, and then I added a lower shelf. And the hexagon I was going to put on the main landing platform of FatBack, I decided to put down here. The only thing I changed was I added some chains that I weathered a little bit, and that's it. Really quick, before I let you guys go, I want to show you this cool marquee my wife found at Walmart when we were in the electronics aisle. It's called a color box LED marquee. They're about $20 to $25. Thought it was pretty cool. It comes with a remote control, and you can plug it in either with a USB cord or it takes AA batteries. It comes with a whole bunch of emojis and, of course, letters. I think it could have came with some more letters, but for the price, I'm really happy with it. So be sure to go check those out. I think they'll make really cool signs for your stations. Here's what it looks like. Also, I want to take a minute and talk to you guys about upcoming collaboration I have with Gray Cloudy Day. We're going to be doing a big giveaway together on Halloween, so be sure to check in on that. And also, I'm going to be doing a new series called World Building for Beginners. I'm super excited about it, so make sure to stay tuned. I think that's going to be really cool. And also, I just want to take a minute to thank you guys. Your support means a whole lot to me. And also, I want to thank all my homies at the Multi-Galactic Trade Route, the WMC, Pirates of the Galaxy, Nassau Station, Jason Jensen Trains, and Gray Cloudy Day. You guys rock. I love you. Thank you, everyone, again. Keep on crafting, and remember, your imagination is your limitation.